Well, according to my watch, it's 12:10, so we've enjoyed the raggedy start, and it's great to hear and see everyone. For those of you who are guests or not members of our club, welcome to the greatest cloud space in all of Rochester, Michigan, the best space for fellowship and service. My name is Wayne Hodges, and I serve here at the Rochester Rotary Club as the club president for a few more weeks, and at which time then our esteemed President-elect Ron Lichtel will take over, and you guys can all rejoice because you're going to have a real president then at that time. We always rise and pay respect to the flag with me by saying the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag
of the
United States of America,
to the republic
which is
which stands one nation under God,
indivisible,
with liberty and
for all.
Justice for all.
Thank you. Will you next join me in reciting the Rotary four-way test? Of those things that we think, say, or do, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all
concerned?
And will it be fun for all?
Will it be fun for all?
Would you please give us today's invocation?
Yes. Dear Lord, we come to you today with our arms outstretched. We need your guidance and your light. Our world is hurting, our nation is aching, and our community is fatigued. Please send us your spirit to guide us. Please help us find space to breathe. Please help us create space to listen even when we don't agree. Help us reopen space to welcome all. We need to hold on to a belief in something higher than us and our world. And we ask you to help us find you in that space in between. In your name we pray, amen.
Amen. Thank you, Julian. For those of you who are guests or visitors, if you would look at the bottom of your screen, there is in the middle a little chat icon. If you click on that, that will allow you to type in your contact information so that we can know how to contact you and provide you perhaps with information that you would like to know more about us. We would certainly like to know more about you. So it's right there at the bottom of your screen called chat. Next, our 15th Zoom meeting. Our 15th, who knows who our 15th Zoom meeting person was today? You're not, well, Phil says it was him. No, Phil, you were third, okay? It was actually Linda Eastman. Okay, Jay, you missed your chance, okay? You could have been a hero, okay, if you'd have stuck with Linda today. But Linda Eastman, you are our 15th sign-on, so you will be exempt today from all fines.
I could have been a contender.
There you go. How about Happy Bucks? If anybody's got Happy Bucks, would you please type them on the chat so that we can share them with all of us? As John Somerville has taught us, if you hover your icon over the picture of a person on the screen, you can then chat with just that person. If you don't do that, everyone will get to see what you've typed. I see Jeff Whitby. To everyone, he's happy, and he's happy. One of his clients cut his hair. Oh my Lord. Kyle, happy buck to stay at home. Order will be lifted, and he can finally get a haircut. John Somerville's happy that more of his small business clients can open up on Monday. Jeff Fosnow is happy. Kathy Lazinski, she's happy the clothes closet is opening by appointment. Kathy, did you ever think that the clothes closet would only be open by appointment?
Never in my life.
That's what
Never.
that was the image I had when I read your note. Oh my goodness, Rachel. Rachel is incredibly happy. She's got a happy $20 happy buck last year during the Habitat for Humanity dinner. Very sad day for her as a Rotary member. She was excited to support. While there, she had two families come up to her and congratulate her on my home as if I was the recipient. I was only person of color in the fundraiser. That when the third couple approached me, they kneeled down to my 13-year-old daughter and congratulated her on the new home and asked her children. She was referring to the three younger siblings. At the point I left, I considered leaving Rotary because I didn't like belonging. Of course, this was not my only experience, just with Rotary. This past week have been a lot of sorrow realized around the world, and it breaks my heart. And my happy buck today is for the love I've seen from all of you. The love I've received from some of my Rotary members this week and the love I've seen around the world has fed my part of my soul that I was ignoring. I hope for my beautiful children and their future. We share in that hope, Rachel. I mean that from my heart. Anyone else? By the way, Ron Lichtel, if you're going to take over as president, okay, you got to practice on your reading.
Okay, what are you talking about? I know how to read.
Well, I barely do. I'm from the country. I barely know how to read. Rachel, here's from Linda Eastman. So glad you stayed. Completely love you and your kids. Can't imagine Rotary without you. And a whole bunch of exclamation points.
Amen to that.
Rachel, thank you so much, Linda. Linda, I now know why she gave you the Rotarian of the Week award last week. Okay, you just proved that. Anyone else? Moving on then. How about member birthdays? We've got two member birthdays this week. Jeff Dupron is on tomorrow, June 3rd, and Bill Ebinger on June 5th. Will you all join me in singing happy birthday to Jeff and Bill? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Rotarians. Happy birthday to you. $5, please. You always got to get that in there. Club anniversaries. We have one club anniversary this week. A longtime Rotarian, Pat Dubé, 25 years. His anniversary date is June 6th. Moving on to our announcements. We still have a little over 30 of the Masters golf tickets for sale. This is the raffle for two people to attend by private jet and private limousine. The Masters Golf Tournament, I believe, on November 14th and 15th. The drawing will be held on October 27th, and we need to sell all of those tickets because we have passed the point where we're break even. We're actually now going to be profitable on this fundraiser, but each one of those tickets is worth $100 to the club. So we've got well over $3,000 of profit here to collect. So if any of you have got access to a golf course, John Somerville can send you and has already sent out the flyers that can be posted to make people aware of this opportunity. But now that things are beginning to open up, we really need all of us to put our service hats back on and look at selling these tickets so that they're all gone before the October 27th. Any questions on that? There being none, Bill Ebinger, you told us last week about what was going on in Rotary Park. Any updates this week? Okay, no update this week. Regarding the, our Phoenix project, Ron has carried the ball on that to try and, inform you and arouse interest in the Phoenix project. And as most of you know, I'm someone who's pretty interested in history. And what you may or may not recall from your history is that this week will be the 78th anniversary of the Battle of Wake Island in the Pacific War in World War II. And the reason that I'm share that with you is everybody remembers about Pearl Harbor, December 7th. But what we don't realize, and what occurred to me this week, is how just a few people and how just in a few moments, everything can change. You see, after Pearl Harbor, the U.S. only had a couple of functioning aircraft carriers. The Yorktown had been badly damaged the month earlier in the Coral Sea. Japan had 6 aircraft carriers, more than anybody else in the world. And it wasn't looking too good. And the Battle of Wake Island, or the Battle of Wake Island, in a matter of 4 minutes now, 2 squadrons of U.S. Dauntless dive bombers crippled 3 of the Japanese aircraft carriers. Later that afternoon, they sunk the 4th one. And it occurred to me, that's kind of, the situation we're all looking at here. Our club's ability to be a positive force in our community has been injured. But all it takes is a few of us to step forward, and it won't take that long. So I want to encourage all of us to think about that all it takes is an active, committed few. Ron is trying to put together new fundraisers right now, and really want to ask each and every one of you to think seriously about what can you help us do as we put back together our club's ability to be a positive force in our community. We've done it before and we can do it again. And I would just encourage each and every one of you to think not just with your mind, but with your heart of what can we do.
Say, Wayne, just a small correction. It's actually Midway Island, not Wake
Sorry.
Island.
You're right. It's Midway. I should have written it out, and then I could have read it. But yes, thank you. We may actually be at a point where we could start to talk about face-to-face meetings. I'll be talking with Ron and Nino this week. My guess is it won't happen until July. Based on my understanding right now, we could have large outdoor meetings, but we still have to maintain 6-foot distance. And so I think it might be time to start talking to Nino about that, but I still think we'll probably be doing virtual meetings for at least the next few weeks. And we'll keep you informed on that. Moving on, how about the Rotarian of the Week? Linda,
Can you hear me?
we can hear you now.
I thought long and hard about who to give it to, but then it just came to me. First of all, thanks to Rachel for nominating me for this. It means a lot to me that she chose me for that, and I really appreciate her sentiments and the reasons why she chose me. So thanks there. Probably not unlike many of us, my heart has been so heavy this week. COVID's getting to me. I'm starting to feel myself sinking, and then with the recent events surrounding the murder of George
Floyd.
Floyd. Yeah. I'm just, I'm adrift. And, you know, in the midst of all this, someone who has really, really tried to extend hope and positive things has been David Erdley. And I've read his Facebook posts as well as his addendum to his sermon for this weekend. And he is just a lighthouse and a beacon for me personally. And in that way, that's one of the reasons why I want to choose him. I also appreciate deeply the programs he's put forth for our Rotary Club, both online and as well as in person when we were meeting in person. This has been a great year for programs, and I want to thank him for that. And last but not least, somebody who has a 15-year-old son deserves some kind of an award. And so that's why I nominate my friend David Erdley.
Oh, thank you, Linda. That's so touching. I appreciate that. I'm really honored by your words and very much humbled by them. And thank you. Yeah, summer vacation has started for Ryan, so we have a 15-year-old now who's ready for summer. So thank you.
Wendy, if you're ready, our speaker this week, and again, thanks to David Erdley for putting this all together for us. Is
Yes.
Wendy Jones, who will
Yep.
be talking about the next steps for seniors, and keeping in tune with the events of this past week. David has organized Mayor Barnett and Chief Shettenhelm to speak to us the next week. So, Wendy, are you ready?
I am. Thank you very much. Can everybody hear me okay?
Yes.
So I see some familiar faces, and I wanted to just first say that I am honored to be a part of a group that starts with pledge and prayer. It just warmed my heart. So I'm really appreciative for the opportunity to be here today. So for some of you that don't already know me, my name is Wendy Jones. I am the founder of Next Steps for Seniors. And with me today is my executive director of Next Steps for Seniors Foundation, Kelly Dean, the infamous.
Hello, hello.
And I know many of you know and love her as I do. And I am very blessed to have her on my team at Next Steps for Seniors Foundation. So I wanted to just start by kind of outlining a little bit about my business, just so you can understand the impetus behind how the foundation got started. And my business started in 2012, and David Walker, who's on the call, was there cutting the ribbon with me. So it's located in Rochester, and we cover Southeast Michigan. And basically what we do is help families navigate the healthcare maze. So if you have a loved one coming out of the hospital or rehab and you're not sure what to do, I started this company because I saw a need. And people were just confused. It's very overwhelming time. It's very stressful. And I wanted to be able to have an organization that could walk alongside people and help them. So what Next Steps for Seniors, the business, does is truly help people transition into independent living, assisted living, group homes, whatever private pay source there may be, or even home care, which now actually is very popular, as we all know. So what's been interesting is the business helped me see, as the calls were coming in, a need that was even bigger than what I had initially thought of with the business, Next Steps for Seniors. And that need was that there are lower income people. So people would call the office and they would go through the litany of questions of all the things that they needed for their loved one and all the problems. And then at the very end of the conversation, they would say, and I don't have any money, or my mom doesn't have any money, or my dad doesn't have any money. And the average, just so everyone knows, the average is $1,503 per month for Social Security in the state of Michigan. And the average assisted living is between $3,000 and $4,500 a month. So you can see that there's a gap what are people going to do as they age and they can't afford all of these beautiful communities that we have in the city of Rochester? We are going to be in a situation that we need something. So that's how the foundation got started. Now, the foundation has the threefold, our mission basically is Next Steps for Seniors bridges the financial gap for low-income seniors in need of proper housing and care. Through faith, hope, and love, we ensure these vulnerable seniors can live out their years with dignity and grace. And much like your organization, the foundation is founded on faith. It's a faith-based organization. So by supporting financially, what we do is actually funds are provided to supplement the income of seniors who meet our eligibility requirements. And I'm going to show you those in just a little bit, but it goes towards the cost of assisted living, home care, or any emergent needs. So we actually provide senior scholarships between $50 and $400 per month that goes to the community that the senior will move into. So we're taking their Social Security, their $1,500 or $1,800, whatever they have, and then we supplement that with $400 a month for up to 2 years. And the reason we picked 2 years is because the average person lives in assisted living for approximately 18 months. So we're bridging the gap. And just to give you a little healthcare 101 class, anyone who Medicaid, just to kind of explain, Medicaid is for our low income people. And many of you are probably thinking, well, why can't they just be on Medicaid? Well, just so you understand, Medicaid, you need to meet both physically and financially. You have to meet qualifications. So there is a gap between the people that meet the Medicaid requirements and the people that can afford the assisted living. So what Next Steps for Seniors Foundation is doing is bridging that gap, those people that fall between the cracks. And that is exactly why we started this foundation. We also assist physically. So many people do not have family members in the same state as them. Children might live out of state, or maybe they never had children. And that's where we can help navigate, moving companies, coordinating care, just being there. And again, all of this is free of charge. And then sharing spiritually. We have a team of volunteers that literally walk through and meet with some of our seniors in the communities. Right now, we're not able to, but over 60% of people in senior communities do not receive a visitor. And that just breaks my heart. So we have been able to put these three pillars together to kind of show the seniors what we can do to provide for them. So what I wanted to share with you is the eligibility requirements, and we do have applications available on our website, but we had to funnel down because there's such a great need. And as you all know, obviously our population is aging. So we have requirements of 75 and older. We have requirements of $1,900 or less per month in Social Security. And like I mentioned, the average is $1,503. And then less than $3,000 in assets. Also that you need assistance. So we want to be able to help those seniors that actually are having difficulty, bathing or able to get up and out of a chair, up and down the stairs. We want them to have 2 ADLs or more of activities of daily living. And we do ask for a tax return. We do ask for a current bank statement, just because we want to make sure we're hitting the market that is truly in most need. So what we did during this time is, I believe that our foundation has risen to the mission of the foundation. And during COVID, we created, and you'll see by this short video, some amazing things that my team through Next Steps for Seniors has been able to do to support our foundation for our seniors. So I'm going to just let you watch this really quick. So as you could see by the video, we were able to touch over 750, close to 1,000 seniors. I always get emotional, so I'm sorry. So what I want to share with you, some of the calls, and I wish that I could express the calls that we got into the office, such as I had a lady who was in Southfield in a complex, a low-income complex. Her son lives in Texas, and she had no food. She was living on food stamps. She had no family or relatives in the area, and she literally couldn't, it was in March, so she couldn't get to the grocery store. She usually walked, and there was snow. So these are the calls that are coming into our office, and we're able to get food to them. Like our mission just expounded upon what we already believed, and we've been able to help so many seniors. So I know that you were able to capture all of that, but that happened in just 2 short months. So what I wanted to just to mention is that our foundation and Next Steps for Seniors Foundation only gets donations from individual donors. So we don't receive any money from any government, state funding. It's all private donors. And one of our largest fundraisers that we're actually praying that we can do as of right now, it is on August 24th, is on the Ovation Yacht Cruise for a Cause. Kelly Dean, as you know, is my executive director, and she's coordinating the efforts of this event. So it's an opportunity to bring awareness to what the foundation is doing. It's an opportunity to raise funds, and you could sponsor for this cruise. You could actually sponsor a donate. Here's our sponsorships available for the Cruise for a Cause. So it's an opportunity. It's a lot of fun. It's a great, I know Tim Crawford Insurance Company is going to be there. Ascension is sponsoring. American House, Pomeroy, Anthology in Rochester and Troy that you are probably all familiar with. So we do have some great sponsors already committed, but this is one way that we really depend upon. It's our annual big fundraiser of the year. So I also wanted to share one more thing too, that I also have a radio show program, and in that program, it's WDTK. I don't know how many of you listen to the radio or talk radio, but it's Saturdays at 11. And the program is really designed to share information and resources about what we can be doing as we age. But I think even more importantly, I wanted to share with you right now, I'm in a 7-week series. So the first 2 segments are about seniors. The last 2 segments are time to get back to one nation under God. And it's just an encouraging message to our seniors and to anyone listening to the radio show that we all need to rise above what's happening right now and keep our focus on God and what we can be doing for others. So I just wanted to share that with you. And I also want to open it up for questions. Kelly Dean is here with me, so we can answer any questions you might have. But I really appreciate, obviously you can see my passion for seniors. My team has been absolutely amazing during this pandemic. It's been awesome. So, okay, I want to open it up for questions and dialogue.
If I could just throw something out there too, for anyone who may know of a loved one or a family that is kind of going through what we've been talking about in the presentation, on our website, we actually have our application. So folks can go there and look at the application and download it. There's also a resource page for seniors and families, caregivers, just so that they know what things other options are out there for them. Some of them don't really realize all the different programs that are out there available. So we have that on our website as well. And then as far as the fundraiser goes, if anybody is interested in a copy of the sponsorship flyer, just shoot me a note and I would be happy to email that to you. And again, donations are always accepted on the website. And so, yeah, we're opening it up to any questions.
Remember to temporarily unmute yourself. You can just hit the space bar to ask a question.
And also just a big thank you throughout this COVID-19 crisis. The community just rallied friends, neighbors, the community partners that without hesitation stepped up, donated supplies, and just helped us to be able to help out so many seniors. We're just very thankful for such a giving, generous community.
Yeah, it truly has been amazing. I think it's just touched me. Like when American House, for example, we were just getting tired in the middle, like everybody was, and American House just showed up, this big old American House truck with all this product, so we could deliver it to our seniors. So we do appreciate that more than anything, everybody rallying around what we've been able to do. So it's been a blessing.
Any questions for us?
I have a question. I'm curious about the structure. Are there two separate organizations? One is a for.
Whoops, we lost you.
Oh, shoot. Okay, so I got the first part of that question, but you muted
Shirley,
out.
you're muted now.
Okay, here I am again.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
so I'm curious. I've been confused about your structure because I've seen your advertising and I've seen what Kelly puts on Facebook and also what Kim Russell puts out. But is there a for-profit business for healthcare consulting and then a separate 501c3 organization for the assistance to seniors? And how are they related?
Okay, so yeah, great question. So yeah, so when I started the business, Next Steps for Seniors, the business in 2012, that is specifically a senior living company. Okay, so we help people find senior living places. So what happened from that company is I realized the bigger need, which was for the low income seniors. So Next Steps for Seniors is an LLC. Next Steps for Seniors Foundation is a 501c3. So the foundation and the business are two completely different organizations. There are no monies or any financial gain either way for either organization. If anything, I pour a lot of money into my nonprofit. But the business funds, when somebody moves into a community, we get a referral fee similar to real estate from the community, and all of that stays in the business. And for Next Steps for Seniors, the foundation, there's absolutely no funds that we receive from any community or anything except for private donors to help us give money to our seniors. So the foundation is strictly us with a senior scholarship donating money to seniors.
Okay, thank you. And then I guess as a follow-up question, how do you screen the people that are eligible for your food donations? If they're living in a low-income facility, are they just assumed to be eligible to receive these love drops, or how do you determine who gets one?
So the eligibility criteria was the 75 and older, the income criteria, which was $1,900 or less, and $3,000 or less in assets. And then they also have to fill out an application. We have an eligibility committee that they go before, and we look at their bank statements and their last tax return. So we do, and there's also, they have to have 2 ADLs. And I'm sorry you guys missed the slides. They were really good.
I know. we thought we were up there. We could see them.
We thought you could see them the whole time. But it lists all the eligibility. So we can send you that presentation if you need it. But yeah, that's a great question. And it really is, we want to focus on the people that truly are the highest need. And it's the people that aren't able to, make their own meal or get up the stairs or take their own medication. And because the average time in an assisted living is 18 months, that's why our program supports them financially for 2 years.
Okay, thank you very much.
They can apply for assistance if they're staying longer than 2 years. Sometimes they actually graduate and qualify for other assistance programs at some point. If they do, then we graduate them out of our scholarship program to free up the funds for someone else. But as far as like the love drops, that was more of, that wasn't really the screening process for funds. That just became aware to us that, okay, these seniors are afraid. Before the lockdown even happened, when we just knew they were afraid to leave to go to the grocery store, and we knew the mob on toilet paper and things like that. So even those who might have been receiving meals, we asked ourselves, how are they going to get toilet paper and garbage bags and hand soap and, you know, toothpaste? So that's when we developed the program Operation Love Drop, so that we could help any seniors that needed it.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's awesome. Thank you very much.
Yeah, so we had a senior that actually called and wasn't able to get her hair washed, right? So they are in these
3
low
months.
income, they're in these low income, you know, Avon Towers, they're all throughout Rochester. So what was happening is home care companies were coming in and doing this, and they were cutting people's hair and washing. So this woman called, she has not gotten her hair cut for 2.5 months or washed, because they won't let them in these communities. So imagine how a senior is going to, you know, get their hair washed, stand in line for toilet paper, or find toilet paper when there isn't any. So these are all the things we were supplying, all of the essential items they needed during this time. Thank you.
So I just have a question. First of all, your presentation was fascinating. Having been sick in the past, I can only imagine how a senior feels with bills and all these kinds of things. It's a minefield. I hope we get national health care out of this COVID virus, because it's just a nightmare. I have 2 insurances just to figure out who's paying what, when, and how. But my question to you is, I heard something you said, and I was happy to hear that. So for one of your organizations, all of these new housing developments for seniors, you know, the one on Rochester Road, or the 2 on Rochester Road, the one up just off of Adams, all of them contribute somehow to your cause when people move into their facilities?
Okay, so
No.
yeah, not to the foundation. That's the business side of it. So when we actually move somebody into a community, that's how we get paid. We don't get paid from the families, because they're going through a crisis. Really, we don't want to say, hey,
Oh, of course, yeah.
yeah. So that's how we get paid, through the business. Now, what was awesome, and I agree with what you're saying, is Anthology, which is the one on Rochester Road, is donating towards my foundation, yes, for the Cruise for a Cause, because Anthology is recognizing, you know what, we know that it's $6,000 to move in here, but we also know that there are people that have $2,000 that can't move in here. So we want to support Next Steps for Seniors Foundation, knowing that we're helping all these low-income seniors.
And what's great about it is, you know, when a senior living community is a sponsor for an event and therefore helping a senior find a place, a lot of these senior communities aren't actually going to receive those seniors because they still can't afford them. So we still have to work with the low-income seniors to find lower income and affordability, but we bridge the gap to make it even possible. So just to be clear with the business and the foundation, the business does not receive any referral fees whatsoever from any placements that the foundation helped them place. So there's no crossover there. It's strictly a foundation that we are helping those seniors who they have no options, and we're helping them make sure that they receive either the home care or emergency need that they have, or assisted living. We just have to work with the assisted living communities that are for lower income folks and still bridge that gap, because they still don't quite come close.
And maybe too, another way to think of it is, you know, you have Ascension Hospital, and then you have Ascension Foundation. You have McLaren Hospital, McLaren Foundation. So everyone knows, like, you have Next Steps for Seniors, and then you have the foundation for the low income people. So it's the same concept. And I do have an attorney that's worked very close with me. And we have an extreme line, black line, that we draw really well. With all the books are separate, the bank accounts are separate. There is nothing that goes back and forth. If anything, I'm pouring money into the nonprofit, because that's where my passion and my heart truly is.
Well, I just want to commend you folks. I think it's wonderful. I've worked my entire life. I'm a professional administrator at Oakland University, and I wonder how I'm going to come up with $4,000 to $5,000 a month to live when I do have to move into an assisted living. And I think many people are going to find that just it's a ceiling you can't penetrate. It's just too much money. And so I commend you folks for doing what you do. I think it's really great. And I want to thank you for that. It's
Thank you.
very much needed because the healthcare system is so hard to navigate, and getting assistance of any kind is so hard to navigate. And when you're a senior and you're struggling already, it's just too much. So God bless you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. God bless
Wendy
you.
and Kelly, thank you much. The need is tremendous, as we see everywhere. But we also have a need to move on because we need to complete our fundraiser for today. And John, are you ready to show us the sheriff's video?
I think so.
Hey, good afternoon, Rotarians. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to be the sheriff today. I'm filming this a couple hours early because today is my son, Kenneth's 16th birthday, and we're doing one of those big drive-by special events where you sort of celebrate in COVID style. My job is to find all of you, and certainly there are lots of reasons to find Rotarians today, but I want to take a slightly different approach. Obviously, there was a bit of good news when the governor announced that next week most restrictions are coming off of us here in Michigan. But my heart is truly heavy for all of the things that are going on in our nation. And it reminds me of why I joined Rotary and what I love about Rotary. I love the people. The food, it's so-so. No offense, Nino. The programs are good, but what I always enjoy is the time before and the time after talking with Rotarians, because they're people like me that share a passion for our community and understand what it's like to put service above self. And if there's ever been a time in our nation where we have needed service above self, at least now, it seems like this is that time. It's been a tough year. Much has been made about the challenges of 2020, from people we've lost to the different things happening with the environment, to certainly a global pandemic, and now more recently a week worth of rioting. Many of these cities and mayors I know personally, and it's taken a toll on me. A toll just to be mindful of the fact of what our job is, to stand up for others who can't often stand up for themselves, to represent those and be a voice for the voiceless, to make sure that we use the privilege that so many of us have been given to do something better for others. And so, while normally I'm super hilarious and focus on trying to make you laugh, it doesn't feel right for me to do that today. What feels right is for me to ask each of you to contribute $5 to extend the message of Rotary, to scream service above self to everyone who will listen, to show what the Rotary has always been about, which is about lifting others up, helping those, whether it's with polio or HIV or poverty or literacy, taking the privilege and the blessings that we've been given and extending them to others. So I'd ask today that you would join me in donating $5 virtually and helping extend our message. And I'll be back with more hilarity in the near future. Until then, God bless, and thanks for being a part of the best Rotary anywhere in America.
Thank you, Brian. As we let that message sink in, this really is a defining moment. With all the challenges that we face, there's no greater need than for the love of Rotary to reach out and touch the hearts of those, especially that need it the most. I would remind all of us that as our nation tries to get back to business, that you don't want to forget, as you interact with the businesses here in town, to remind them of we support them as they have supported us, in particular the restaurants. And let's move forward together, and we can rebuild, I think, quickly. We can do what we put our mind to. Please think about what your ideas and what we can do to rebuild our fundraising activities, both in the current restrictions of today, as well as we get back to a more normal operation. With that, we will see each and every one of you next week, I hope. Please stay safe, and please take a few moments to think about, even in today's world, all of the blessings that each and every one of us gets to enjoy. Thank you and God bless. Meeting adjourned.